Welcome to Technical Math. This is a quick video to show you how to get into MyLabsPlus. This is the software that we're going to be using for completing the homework, the quizzes, and the tests this semester. So you're going to be using it quite extensively. Not only that, but also this is where you have access to the textbook. So you have been charged already for the textbook if you've signed up for the course. It would show up in your tuition. And so you don't have to pay anything, don't have to worry about going into the bookstore or something like that. It was all taken care of already. Alright, so to get to this MyLabsPlus, what you're going to do is you're going to navigate to my.umt.edu. I'll leave it on the screen there for a second so you can see that. And just like that, my.umt.edu. I actually recommend bookmarking this, so I'll go ahead and hit enter, and it brings me to the kind of the portal page of the university. It has a bunch of helpful links. There's a course catalog. You can search for your courses. There's a link to Moodle on here, CyberBear, your student email. MyLabsPlus is the one we're going to be using. There's a link to the library stuff, Box, Solution Center. You might want to check to make sure that yours is on student, because if it's on employee, the list is going to be different, and you can see MyLabsPlus doesn't show up there. So in any case, I'll go back to student and click on MyLabsPlus. Here you'll log in using your NetID and the associated password. Your NetID is it's the same login credentials you use to log into CyberBear and Moodle with. It's going to be your first initial, last initial, and then 6 digits generally. Now, I'm not going to be logging in here because it doesn't quite work the same for me. But once you log in there, you'll be brought to the Pearson website. You'll probably end up having to, I'm not sure if it's before this or after you click on a class, you'll have to accept an end-user license agreement. It's basically saying, well, you'll want to read through it to know what it's saying. But in any case, we're in Technical Math, section B1, so that's what you would click on. And again, this is going to be slightly different for you than it is for me. You can see some extra links on my page that you won't see on yours, all these with the little icon here on the left. Those ones are ones you can't see. So you'll see the course home all the way through student success. Those are the links you'll see. And starting with the course home, I'll do a quick little overview of what's going on here. There's a little bit of a calendar that shows up here. This is showing due dates that are coming up. I guess it looks like the orientation assignment is available as of Tuesday, August 11th. That's when I put it on there. If I want to move to next week, you can see, well, this is probably when you're watching this, will probably be during this week. You can see there's a little icon here saying there's some stuff due on Friday, the 21st. So that's going to be the first due date you'll want to pay attention to. And your due dates all show up on here. You can see as I hover over these, you can see what those due dates are. That's one way of seeing when there's upcoming due dates. There's also this what to work on next area. And there's all sorts of, these are the upcoming assignments that are due, and it says the next one is due in 6 days and 10 hours. That is this one, whatever. Let's see. There's an overall score. You can see this is going to represent your overall grade for the course, and this is going to be accurate at any given time during the course, assuming that I don't need to make some changes to your grade or something like that. In general, even if I do, if I'm doing things offline, which I don't think I'll be doing any offline grades this semester, but even if I do offline grades, I put them in here, and so they show up in your overall score, and so that's accurate throughout the entire semester. As you submit assignments, they will show up in this submission progress area. This is nothing more than just you being able to keep track of what your average scores are, and if you want to go back and redo an assignment or something like that, this kind of gives you an overview of where you are. But the more important, well, maybe not more important, but the areas where you're going to be working with here are the book. Let me just start there, because most of the time you'd want to read the material or watch the material. You can see this opens up, it says it's a multimedia library. This is just your book. It's just a fancy way of saying that. If I click on chapter, I can select which chapter I'm looking at, and let's start with chapter 1. And for section, I'll go ahead and say section 1.1. Now, then I can either say just check the multimedia textbook if I just want to see what's in the textbook. Let's see what happens if I hit find now. You can see it brings me up a link of section 1.1 of the multimedia textbook. If I instead hit select all and then find now, it's going to, it brought up a couple other things. It brought up an animation that talks about rounding whole numbers. It brings up the textbook itself. And then there is a section video lecture. These are lectures that are included by the authors of the book. So if you wanted to watch those, you're certainly welcome to. If I click on section 1.1, it brought a pop-up in a different screen. So let me bring that down so you can see it. It takes a little while to load. So let me just pause this and I'll be back as soon as it's loaded. Alright, here we go. It took a couple seconds, but and you'll notice when you do use the book, it is a little bit slow to load, which is why I recommend opening it up and just leaving it open when you're studying. But you can see this is going to be laid out very much like a normal textbook. We're on page 4 here, and if I hit back to page 3, this is actually the start of chapter 1. Talks about the arithmetic of whole numbers, some descriptions there. It labels all the different sections in chapter 1 rather, and then it gets into actually dealing with chapter 1. So if you're wanting to read through this, this is how you get in there. Let me go ahead and let's look at this a little bit more. I'll flip to the next page, and you can see there is example 3 here. It says you try it. So in the book, as you're reading through it, it says the number 47 billion whatever. It becomes, and it splits it out into the individual units. If you click you try it, what this is going to do is it's going to bring up an example of what that question would look like in your homework. And so it says write this in words. We have 112,180,014. No, I said and, but I shouldn't have said and there. So let's see, 112 billion, no, 112 million. That one says and. 112 billion, nope, 112 million, that's probably it. Let me finish. 14, yep, that looks like good. Alright, so I selected the answer on here. I'll go ahead and hit check answer, and it says, yeah, I got it right. Now, let's say I wasn't 100% sure on this question. I wanted to do another one. Maybe there was something that tipped me off about it, and I wasn't sure if that's going to be a consistent thing. If I hit similar question, you can see it was check answered before. Now it says similar question. If I hit similar question, now what it's going to do is it's going to modify the question, and it's still writing in words. It just changed the number in here, and it gives me another opportunity to answer this. Alright, let me go back to the book. Oh, I just closed it. Okay. There's other links also in the book. You should, as you're reading through there, you should click on them and see what they are. There's links to the animation, this animation here, and yeah, other helpful stuff as you're reading through the book. There is also the HTML ebook, this second link here. If you click this one, this version of the book actually has a couple advantages, except it doesn't load. Okay, moving on. I need to figure out why that isn't loading. It might just be something with my computer. In any case, the HTML version of the book allows you to use screen readers, and it loads a little bit quicker than the other version of the book. But the other version, the version that I clicked on already, is laid out a little bit nicer, so that's probably the one you're going to want to use. I do have a syllabus, the syllabus for the course on here. You should have received this in the email, probably the email that you learned about this this video. So, I'm not going to read this right now. I included that as you'll be able to read through the email, through the syllabus yourself. The course schedule, this is talking about when each of the individual cohorts are going to meet. On August 19th, that's the first Wednesday of class, we have Cohort A meeting, and then Cohort A continues to meet on Mondays generally throughout the whole course. You can see most of those are Cohort A. Looks like I need to fix that. But there is a Cohort A meeting on September 9th. So by and large, Cohort A is going to be meeting on Mondays, with the exception of the first day of class and then September 9th there. Cohort B is in general going to be meeting on Wednesdays. We have on, of course, the very first week of class, since we're starting on Wednesday, it's a little bit off. But after that, there's also this week where we don't have class on the 7th. We end up meeting with Cohort B on that Friday. But then in general, it's going to be Cohort B is going to be meeting on Wednesdays, and then there is one last exception, November 13th, because we have November 11th off. I think that's Veterans Day, I think. Alright, so let's see. On Fridays, in general, we're not going to be meeting face-to-face. We're going to be meeting where I'm going to be using Zoom meetings. This is primarily to answer questions and, if there's any additional things that I need to say. The actual tests for the class are also not going to be in class. These are all going to be online tests. You can read more information about that in the syllabus. And yeah, that's the course schedule. The next link here is My Grades. This, at any time, I said in the course home you can see what your grades are, but if you click on My Grades, this will give you the same percentage here. Of course, I have 0% because I haven't done anything for the course. But it'll show you that same percentage in here, but it'll also break it down into individual assignments. They'll all be listed down here, so you can at any time see, if there's a low score that you've gotten, you can look at it in here and figure out what's going on. You also, sometimes that's a nice way to be able to review. If you did a quiz and you didn't do very well on it and you want to go see what the results were, you can view them in here. The student success area, these are a few links you might check out. There's some study skill stuff talking about how to be successful in college and how to read in math. Those are some links you might check out on your own. Alright, so I skipped past homework and quizzes. I think this will say homework, quizzes, and tests by the time you see it. This is copied from last semester, and I didn't do tests in here last semester, so I need to change that. In any case, you click on homework and quizzes, and these are the same quizzes that you were able to see in the course home, but the course home only shows you a couple of them, and it's only showing you the next few that are coming up. The homework and quizzes tab here actually shows you everything that's currently visible to you. So you can see all the way through section 3.3 and the quizzes associated with that. And of course the orientation assignment. So the due dates are visible here on the left. These are the same due dates again. They're the due dates. Individual, let's see, you can see the other information on here. Time limit, it looks like quizzes. I've given you a 50-minute time limit. I try to make those quizzes so they generally shouldn't take more than about 20 minutes. But I've given a 50-minute time limit just to prevent people from starting it and walking away, essentially. You get 3 attempts. Only the highest only the highest score is taken into account in your final grade. That information is in the syllabus as well. And yeah, so you can see this is all the stuff that's going to be, all these homework assignments and quizzes will take place before the first test. That's all, this is all going to be due in the next few weeks, and then the first test happens on September 4th. We'll get all the way through Chapter 3. These first 3 chapters should go very fast, especially Chapter 1. Some people in this class, when they first start to look at the content in Chapter 1, they're actually a little insulted because they feel like it's too easy. But I'm just covering what the book starts with. So don't try not to be insulted by how easy some of it is, or if it's not easy, well then make sure that you're putting in the effort to learn the lessons. All right. So that is a brief overview of MyLabsPlus, and yeah, so have at it with the homework, and I'll see you guys around.